Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our movie club, Sunday movie club, let's call it this way. And today we have a movie, Geostorm, and we have a nice woman speaking about how climate change and all these things. So you missed it if you did not join us. Okay, but let's talk about the movie itself, Geostorm. What it was, not 2017, right? Okay,
19.
we have a how we call it, synopsis provided by IMDb, by Teacher Lee, but written by IMDb. let's put it this way. So let's read it and discuss it. So again, as always, read it in your own pace. We can stop, we can discuss, ask questions, whatever you want, right? Sarah, could you please start?
That's true. In the year 2019, the global warming had become so bad. Catastrophic weather was plaguing the world. The nations of the world came together to create solution. A weather controlling system nicknamed Dutch Boy. It deploys the satellites around the world and succeeds in containing a potentially devastating hurricane over Shanghai. What's that?
Shanghai.
It's a city name.
Shanghai. Shanghai, and managed to keep climate stabilized all across the globe.
So why it's nicknamed Dutch Boy? Do you know, Sarah? Any special about Dutch? I don't know. Actually, why it's Dutch Boy? Something special about Dutch?
I put it in the chat area. There is a fairy tale
Okay.
about a dike in Holland. A dike is like a dam, and it develops a leak, a little hole in it, and the water starts leaking through the dam. Oh my God. And a little Dutch boy walks up to the hole and he puts his finger in it and he stops the leak. And he's a hero. That's the fairy tale. So he's the Dutch boy.
Why did not he use a stone or something? So he need to stay there forever, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know that. I haven't read the fairy tale, but I know that part of it because we always talk about the boy and the dike and putting his finger in the hole. So he's the Dutch boy. So he stops a natural catastrophe.
Sarah, can you name some, please? Can you please name some? I don't know. Some results of global warming. So why it's so bad, catastrophic? So what happens when we have global warming?
The temperature raised, so it destroys everything. People die. So.
But why they die? Because of the hot?
Because of what?
So it must be like 100 temperature, right? So I mean, let's say that global warming is happening, right? So what it causes? What's the catastrophe it caused by global warming?
Death, destroy everything, destroy flora and fauna and everything. So it's annihilate everything. Ice melt, yes.
Yeah. Most of the time I hear about these ocean levels, right? So it's the most popular like fear mongering of global warming. So ocean level is changing, and some cities will be burned. Can we say burned or under the water, right? What word we use usually for this? Put under the water.
We just say submerged or flooded. Yeah.
Nice.
There's maps on the internet that show the land mass, and they show over decades how the water level will rise and the land area will get smaller and smaller. Like the east coast of America and California are doomed if the ocean level rises a lot. So farmland is a lot of the farmland is coastal. So when the coast floods, a lot of farmland will be lost. So there may be food shortages.
Yeah, but it will be farmland for fish, right?
Yeah, you have to eat fish. Yeah.
Leila, could you please continue?
Okay. Jake Lawson, the main architect for Dutch Boy, is brought to testify before a court. Senator Thomas Cross is particularly displeased that Jake went ahead and started Dutch Boy without his own approval. Jake fails to make a compelling argument for his case, choosing instead to just argue with the senators justifying that Dutch boy has proven to be a success. Jake's brother Max tries to shut him up, but to no avail. After the meeting is adjourned, Max tells Jake that he has been chosen to take Jake's job, and he regrettably fires his brother.
Was it regrettable? What do you think?
Sorry, my friend.
What is regrettable?
Regrettable means feeling guilty.
Yeah, but had you seen this in the movie? That it was
No.
regrettable?
No.
He was happy to fire him, right?
I think he wasn't happy either, but I think he was content because maybe they had some arguments in the past. I'm not sure.
So what about tries to shut him up, but to no avail? This phrase looks strange for me. I would look
If I'm
more-
not wrong,
Mhm.
no avail means useless or something like that.
Correct. It was totally unsuccessful.
Okay.
So, but have not managed this well. Something like this, right? Have not.
I think what I remember from the movie is that when they were younger, Jake, the older brother, was always getting into trouble. He was too emotional. Maybe he got into fights. Maybe he stole things. I don't know, but he was always getting into trouble. And his younger brother, Max, had to take the brunt of the responsibility to rescue Jake or help get him out of trouble. So Max resented Jake because of that relationship. The younger brother shouldn't be responsible for taking care of the older brother. It should be the opposite. So they had some personality conflicts growing up.
Right. And Jake was, I think, drinking a lot in the past.
Yeah, I think so.
Could be. Yeah. So, but
Teacher Lee,
Leila, yes, Sarah, please.
sorry for interrupting you, but teacher Lee, when two brothers are in conflict, do we call them estranged brothers?
Estranged means that the conflict is so great that they live apart. So when they live apart and don't talk to each other anymore, that is estranged.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. Leila, did you like this conversation with senator? So this guy was.
No, you know me. I always defend the person who has been treated unfairly.
But who was treated unfairly?
I mean, I believe in Jake.
But he was so masculine, right? So macho man. So we did
I
everything,
love him.
but
Yeah,
not you.
true. I love him.
So worms are like you trying to steal my success. So we did all the job, and you trying to say that it was you. So I like this part. Okay, let's go user. Vasant, could you please take 2
3 years later, a team of soldiers move through Afghanistan. They come across a village that appears to have been frozen over, covered in ice and snow. The soldiers find the villagers standing frozen in place. Upon the International Climate Space Station, an engineer, Makmoud, gathers log data from the Afghanistan incident in secret. He moves through the station when the windows start to blow up, causing Makmoud to get sucked out into space.
Yeah, Vasant, so do you think it's like realistic that you can freeze a spot of land inside the desert somewhere from the satellite? So how to do it? I don't know.
Yeah, that seemed so unreal to me. It was completely different world in the middle of desert.
Yes. So I'm trying to find a way. So let's say we block all the sunshine, right? So no more sun, but still there is atmosphere. It's hot and it's around. So how you can make ice here from satellite? So sounds strange. It looks strange.
And how cold would wind have to be to instantly freeze everything in a split second. Come on, you know? Even the vacuum of space doesn't do that. It's 270 degrees below zero. Come on. It's not realistic. A little fake there, I think.
Yeah, but I think for climate activists, it's okay. I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, Gerard?
Yes, I thought at the beginning the voice of the narrator it was Greta Thunberg. At the beginning of the movie, you know that it looks like a girl talking.
I thought it was a boy.
Okay, so one guy he was thrown to space, right? For some.
Yeah, I was gonna ask something here. That Makmoud, right? He gathers the log data in secret. Did he do it because in favor of the government or what?
Well, at that time we don't know. At that time we just see that something bad happens, right? So some kind of plot exists, right? We don't know who are the sides, why it's happening, for whom he works. We don't know, but we know that something strange happens. That's all. At
Yeah,
that
but
point.
okay, we will talk about it through the end. Okay.
But we can ask Vasant, for whom he worked, Makmoud. We know that from the end of the movie.
I think he's not an insider or something, but he wanted to to explore the truth, to tell the world that there's a corruption.
So he tried to prevent actually this plot, right? Tried to find evidence that this plot exists. Okay.
Yes, a whistleblower.
And that's why he was killed, right? But what strikes me is that it seems that nobody made an investigation about this death. So he killed, okay, so it's fine. Let's go. Let's go Fuser. But maybe I missed something. Okay, Gerard, could you please continue?
President Andrew Palmer is alerted to the incidents and he calls for a meeting among his cabinet. They determine that there must have been a glitch in one of the satellites over Afghanistan. Palmer proposes to send one person up to the ICSS to fix the situation. Secretary of State Leonard Decom talks to Max and suggests that he get Jake to go up there since he knows Dutch boy better than anyone involved. But Max thinks it wouldn't help to ask Jake.
So it's a lag that it's happening in the Afghanistan, right? So if it happened in London, so can we deny this fact? But Afghanistan, who cares, right? So frozen and frozen. Okay, let's go. No, not a first-class country. How Trump said, shit, something country.
Shithole country.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, we froze some shithole country. Okay.
No problem.
No problem.
But it raises a legal question, just like driverless cars. This village is frozen. All these people die. They were basically killed, murdered by an accident of technology. Who's to blame? Who is liable? Who can be sued? Is it just, too bad. Okay, let's go to work,
Yeah, it's an interesting question. So I guess there is okay. So if even we find a corporation who is in charge of this, right? So what kind of who is a person who is a blame? CEO or some coder or who? I don't know.
Part of the whole corporation. It's a legal entity, so the corporation would have to pay corporate funds.
I guess they will pay without no problem, right? So a village in Afghanistan, how much it worth? Like $50?
It's hard to say, yeah.
Some cows.
Yeah.
Okay, but why this thing need to be safe, Gerard? Do you remember? Why they need to prove that it's safe?
Because the United States would share with all the countries to use these satellite systems. So very altruistic.
So it's became international. Right?
Hard to believe. Hard to believe.
Right. Jihan, would you like to continue?
Okay, Max drives up to Jack's home in Florida, where he meets Jack's daughter Hannah. Jack appears none too pleased to see Max, but Max pleads with his brother to help him investigate the Afghanistan incident, knowing that many lives could potentially be at risk.
Yeah. I don't know what to ask here. So could can you take one more, please?
Okay, we move to Hong Kong, where a heat wave has passed over the city. A man named Ching Long, who heads Dutch Boys Hong Kong department, is leaving a grocery store when he drops his carton of eggs. To his surprise, the eggs start frying on the street. Suddenly, the ground rumbles before gas mains start to burst underground and explode. Ching races across the city as more mains start to blow, causing an earthquake that destroys part of the city. Ching makes it to the middle of a bridge as he and other citizens look upon what remains of the city.
So the whole city destroyed, right? Or the part of the city destroyed in Hong Kong, right? It's
Yeah,
Hong
I think
Kong.
it's part. Yes, China.
Yeah, but how? Do you understand the process? How it was destroyed?
Maybe because of the heat, the temperatures started to rise. Then I don't know, something under the ground start to explode, but they said it's gas mains. But I remember Jake told his brother, I think, that that's impossible. It's something related to the satellites, not just something, I don't know.
Yeah. So these gas lines, they are under the earth, right? Under the surface. Yeah. So it should be hard to hit them up in a short time, I guess. So everything must be hit. You know, the earth must be red already before you heat up gas lines. It's my opinion. Yeah, and it's kind of looks unsafe to put gas lines with so many gas inside the building. I don't know. I know that in America you don't use gas lines, right? Actually.
We have gas appliances, but we don't use it very much, mostly up in the Northeast where it's really cold and the electricity is too expensive. We do have small gas lines for like stoves, gas burning stoves, but relatively rare in the US.
So this incident, it looks like more dramatic, right? So we like international corporations, they cannot ignore this anymore, right? So it's not Afghanistan already, it's Hong Kong, still not white people, but something like similar. So have to make some actions, right?
Yes, it's like not isolated, like in the middle of the desert. No one will know.
Yeah. So it's probably went to a media, right? Leaked to media. Okay. Sergey, could you please continue? Let's learn what happens.
Jake agrees. Jake agrees to go up to the ICSS, even so he knows he will leave Hannah behind. She tearfully says farewell to him before staying with her mother. When Jake reaches the ICSS, he meets Ute Fassbinder. The station's commander plus Danny Taylor, one of the crew. Together they look in the Hong Kong satellite, but the robot arm holds. It goes haywire, nearly killing everyone until it crashes, leaving the satellite destroyed with no data to work with.
Yeah, so it looks like how we call it, diversion already, right? So it looks like someone is working after them, against them. What is haywire? I'm not sure as I understand.
Haywire.
It's an idiom that we have. It means out of control.
Goes haywire.
Extreme malfunction.
Okay. So just robot arm, it's looks broken, right? Start to do some erratic movements and destroy all the data. Okay, I wouldn't believe in such coincidence. Sarah, could you please continue?
Yes, from where?
In Tokyo.
In Tokyo. Yes, in Tokyo, enormous hailstorm hit, literally bringing down hail big enough to destroy a bus. From Hong Kong, Chen contact Max after finding out he can't log in to access their satellite. Chen warns Max that if this pattern of weather continues, Geostorm will occur, in which disastrous weather will strike all over the globe at once. Cheng escapes his office when he finds that mercenaries, maybe, I don't know, mercenaries led by a man named Reiko are about to raid the place.
So mercenaries, who are they? They're kind of gangsters, like, or soldiers who you pay to make some job for you, right? Have a gun, will travel. Right?
Soldiers?
Yeah, someone who will, soldiers to hire, right? Someone who you hire to make you a job for you, probably military related.
Kind of like a small army for rent.
It's the authorities.
Yeah, it's illegal in many countries, in Russia as well. So in Russia, if you are part of some mercenary squad, it doesn't important if you work it inside Russia or outside, you are already a crime. You will be put in prison. So they say. I never try. I never check it. Yeah. Will we continue? Any questions about this? So, let's continue. Leila, could you please?
We have stopped Jake or Max.
Max.
Okay. Max then turns to Dana, a cybersecurity hacker. She finds that Max cannot gain access to the satellite as well, meaning that the whole system has been hacked by someone else. Jake sees in a surveillance video of the accident that killed Makmoud that a hard drive got stuck by a panel. He goes out to retrieve it, but his spacesuit malfunctions and he's nearly killed. After making it back inside the station, he shows Ute that he got the drive, but he keeps it in a secret from the rest of the crew, fearing that one of them may have deliberately sabotaged him. While attempting to go over the drive, Jake and Ute find themselves unable to access the information. Jake video calls Max and tells him a story about their father taking them fishing. Max takes the video to Dana and says it's an unscripted message from Jake since their dad never did take them fishing. Using their dad's old phone number, Max describes the message to learn that Jake believes someone with the White House is responsible.
Yeah, interesting twist, right?
Yeah.
Oh, did you like the code that brothers use it?
I love it. And I didn't understand at first because their faces were serious and Max was just, looking a bit surprised, but he did, he didn't show any emotions. I like it.
But teacher Lee wrote a very valuable comment in the chat. So if you use a code that relates to numbers of the words, right? So you have to hear very clearly every word and very clearly to understand it. When we speak, we sometimes miss the words, right? Some articles, I don't know, something. So it's very, very easy to be out of the order.
Yeah, if you say one word extra, all the code is useless because it doesn't fit anymore. So he had to precisely memorize his speech and say it kind of natural without missing a single word. Pretty incredible. Now, Max didn't understand what the message was, but he knew that the strangeness of the vocabulary and the fact that they never went fishing with Dad, he knew that it must be some kind of a secret message, but he didn't know what it was. So he had to go to Dana to say, can you figure out this? And Max's only clue was he mentioned his cell phone. When we were kids, we used our cell phone number to do a code. So that helped Dana figure it out quickly. Yeah.
Well, interesting part. Yes. Sometimes we need to make a conversation in public, but deliver a secret, right? How to do this? So if everyone is watching.
How can we decipher cryptic message like that?
So you have.
I think it is Max knows that their father didn't take them fishing.
But it was the part of the thing.
But still, I think Dana put it in the computer, then translate it into something, grind it into verbalized word or something.
Maybe because of their jobs, Sarah. You know, they both work for the government. Maybe they were trained like that. I don't know.
They say that they used this code when they in their childhood, right? So, and the fact about fishing, it was the fact like a red flag, you know. So he's speaking nonsense. I must think about this, what he's trying to say. So it was just a flag. It was not a code, right? So if I say, Layla, remember last time we met in Istanbul, I told you about that thing or something, right? So you understand that I'm speaking something deliberately.
Imaginary, right?
I forget, Ivan, how did he figure out it was every 9th word from the cell phone number?
Actually, it was not every 9. So the cell phone number is like, let's say 7, 5, 3, 4. So it's a number, right? So you have a set of numbers, like say 4, 5, 6. So first you take 4 words, then you take 5 words, and 6, and then you start from the beginning.
Okay. All right.
So it's like a loop with numbers.
I got it.
It is complicated though.
So it must have taken him hours to draft that message.
Actually, yes. So when you know the system, the decoding process is very simple. You just, you know, it takes no time. But to write a message and make it sound naturally, it's a big job.
Ivan, you have to teach me the method so I can express my feelings very frankly, openly here.
Well, it's worth well only if you need to communicate, you know, in public. So because cryptography now it's already have a lot of code, so you don't need to invent another one, you know.
Okay.
Let's go forward. Vasant, could you please? Max attempts
to meet up with Cheng because behind him, and he pushes Cheng into the path of a car. Max rushes to a dying Cheng, who manages to mention something called Project Zeus before he dies. He relays this info to Dana, stating that Project Zeus is meant to manipulate the weather and create the geostorm. Ute find the log data in the locker that Makmoud had stored it in, which is Rishit's locker. He initially thinks they suspect him of sabotaging Jake, even holding them at gunpoint, but they come to an understanding. They find out that a virus was spread to keep ICSS employees from logging. Jake contacts Max again with the suspicion that Palma may be behind the hack. In order to stop the geostorm from happening, they need to reboot the system with kill codes, which are with the president as they are biometric and require his fingerprints and eye scan. Max tells this to his girlfriend, Secret Service agent Sarah Wilson, as he needs her help to get Palma.
Yeah. Did you like this agent, Sarah Wilson?
Yes. She is beautiful.
She was an Iron Lady, right? At this moment.
Yes,
Sir, I will meet you at 12 p.m. in my bed.
Yes. Duty with brain. Is that a word?
Yeah, she was a Agent Bond, right, in this movie. So I impressed how she was calm all the time and so brilliant.
Even I love the way she was driving.
But Leila, my impression from Antalya that all Turkish people drive like this. No?
Yeah, thank you.
Now, one thing I don't understand is how a car, the wheels can be going forward and you can instantly switch around and now the wheels are going the opposite direction.
It's impossible. Yeah.
I've never figured out how they can do that.
I don't think it's possible, but who knows? I'm not a secret agent, you know. Maybe they have special cars or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think, Vasan? Is this biometric idea good or bad? So what? So can we rely on one man in the whole years to cancel the system or something?
No. As we know that it is easily, it can be copied easily.
They say they cannot be, you know. So this, so they scan your how we call it eyes, right? They use your fingerprints. So they say it's not how fakeable. What's the word for this? You cannot replicate this, right? So, but what I'm scared of, you know, let's say that president is busy, or you cannot just, you know, drive him to the exact place. So it's the only person in the yours who can, you know, deny this. You cannot share the code. You cannot just, you know, tell by phone your code to cancel something. So it looks very dangerous to me. What do you think?
Yes. And also, I think if biometric data also can be faked. I have personally tried that.
Maybe in some systems, you know, some systems, they have like different security levels or something. So some of them can be faked, let's say fingerprinting on your mobile phone, but probably military use more complex systems, I guess.
But giving the entire power to a single person is not a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't like it too. But speaking about the security of this biometric, actually, do people in America trust these biometric machines or something? For instance, in Russia, we can use this my face in bank, so I can pay in my bank by just looking in the camera, and it's okay. People like this.
The only example, we use it in the nuclear power plants. We use our palm, our whole hand. The only example I can give you of iris identification, it's more facial recognition, was that I went to one of my bank one time to get a safety deposit box. And they had this device where they used to have a person had to let you in and 2 keys, he would unlock the box, he would leave, your key would unlock the second lock, and you would open. They replaced that with facial recognition. So you just stand in front of the cage, it looks at your face, and it opens the cage and lets you in. They took that out after a few months. They didn't use it anymore, so it must not have worked well. No, we don't use it much yet.
Well, interesting, because in Moscow it's more and more like in more fields we can see that everywhere. In metro we don't pay anymore we pay by face, you know, face to pay. So you just look in the camera and you go. So you just paid, you know.
Yeah, we don't have that at all. So you're way beyond us, Ivan.
Who knows? Maybe we will regret about this. Many people, you know, speculate about Big Brother things and all this. So, and it's legal reasoning.
At the push of a button by the government, all of your facial recognitions are now blocked. Yep. You can't take the train. You can't buy groceries. You can't do anything. That's what scares us in America. We don't like that level of control.
It scares us as well, you know. So we spoke about this lockdown. So how lockdown in Moscow works? So you just disconnected from network. If you want to go somewhere, metro just doesn't accept your payment. You know, sit at home.
Wow. Yeah. Scary.
Sure.
I'll mention in some of the other movies, you'll see there's cases where they'll cut off the guy's hand and use the hand to do the biometric. So it's not really foolproof. In another movie I saw, they took the guy's eye out and held it up, you know, so it's scary to me.
Well, nowadays they say that you cannot use that finger. Nowadays
Really?
they say, yeah, because they need like blood circulating in this. So they make a series of measurements, like measurements.
Yeah, measurements.
And they check that like picture changing, so it's not possible with
Either
that body.
either a pulse or it's got to be, you know, it got to be warm.
Yeah, but you can, yeah.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Yeah. Okay.
let's hope that maybe they just telling this not to provoke people to cut others' fingers.
Yeah.
Gerard, could you please continue?
Okay. Max and Sarah head to the Democratic National Convention in Orlando, where Max learned that a huge thunderstorm is about to hit the area. When he tries to warn Decom and ask for his help, Decom takes Max to a room and tries to shoot him, revealing himself as the true villain. Max rushes to tell Sarah. She creates a diversion to get the other Secret Service agents away while she gets a Palma. She and Max take him in a self-driving cab just as the storm hits. They get far away from the stadium as it is blown up by a massive lightning bolt. Sarah drives through the city, evading Rico and his goons. They go under a bridge and manage to push Rico into the path of the storm, causing a bolt to hit his car and blow him up. Decom is ahead in the road and uses one of his goons to try and kill Max, Sarah, and Palma with an RPG. The car blows up, but they are not inside. Max and Sarah incapacitate the goon and hold Decom until the police arrive to arrest him. Before he is taken away, Decom says his plan was to take out America's enemies and leave the United States in charge of the world with him as president.
So the goal was good, right? So why not? Okay, what is RPG, Gerard? How it's rocket?
Is a bazooka? Yes.
Yeah. Is it an acronym? RPG? Teacherly, maybe you know RPG.
Yeah, it stands for rocket propelled grenade.
Okay, I see.
Basically, it's a small rocket about this big, and the end is explosive. So you shoot it kind of like a bazooka, but it's smaller and probably can't go as far, but I don't know.
Gerard, how to create a thunderstorm? How to create a bolt from the satellite?
I don't understand what the amount of energy that those satellites should need to change the climate, the weather.
Okay, another question. If you're building like a satellite to control the climate, why do you need like a procedure to create thunderstorms? So why you ever will program this, right? Why you will design this?
I know that some chemical substances with silver can provoke clouds to rain.
To disappear, right?
But imagine how much would it cost to do that, you know, in all the world and all the time. It would cost a fortune.
Gerard, what do you think? Was it plausible this way how Sarah kidnapped the president?
I don't think so. You know, at the beginning, I thought Sarah was with the bad guys. It looks, for a moment, it looks like, you know, before they killed, you know, the Asian guy, it looks like Sarah was behind this, but eventually she was a good girl.
Yeah, but Sarah was so brilliant. So, you know, she alone commands the whole security service, right? I take the president, you all run there, this direction.
I
Don't
love
ask
it.
why.
Badass? You call her badass?
I found this not really plausible, so I don't think that. Yeah.
And she gave orders to the other members of the Secret Service like she was the boss.
Right. That's my mind like doubts about this, right? So some agent just say, you know, you all go home. I will take care of this.
Yeah, that's not plausible.
Okay. Jihan, would you like to continue?
Okay, the virus starts to completely take over the station, causing its self-destruct sequence to go off. The satellites then go out of control, causing devastating weather to hit parts of the world, including a tsunami in Dubai, a heat wave in Moscow, and tornadoes in Mumbai. People are frozen in their tracks, burned alive, or sucked up. The Geostorm then counts down to less than 90 minutes. Jake soon learns that Dunakin is responsible for spreading the virus. Jake goes to beat the crap out of him and learns he did it because he was offered more than what he was paid up there. Donegan accidentally hits the windows with bullets before Jack gets out. Just the window blows out and sucks Duncan into space. Is Duncan or Dunson?
Duncan, I guess.
Duncan.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Jihan, why it's bad when you break the window in the space? What happens?
You will be dead because you will flow out in the space. There's no oxygen.
Yeah. So it's not a convenient place to be, right? Space.
Yeah, at all.
Okay, what else? I would like to have a heat wave in Moscow just now. So I would like to have this Geostorm or something.
Something else to be aware of is when you have a breach in something in space, space is not sucking.
Yep.
The pressure inside is going from a high pressure to a low pressure. Really, the air's blowing out the hole. Now, I would think that a room, once that air blows out, that suction would stop unless air is coming into that room so fast that it never stops that explosive blowing outward.
Mm-hmm.
I've often wondered about that. They never seem to run out of oxygen in the room.
Yeah, probably there is some systems, that refill the oxygen or something.
Well, I mean, you got the ventilation duct, but can that fill up the whole room, that fast,
But it's a movie. It's a movie. They can, I guess. Okay. So Max and Sarah. Sergey, could you please?
Max and Sarah get Palma to send the kill codes. Jake contacts Max and says the kill codes. I don't see this codes. I'm sorry. Max and says the kill codes will only stop the Geostorm, but not the self-destruct sequence. Jake prepares to die despite Max trying to find a way to help. The brothers acknowledge their love for each other. Jake rushes to take the kill codes to the main computer, with Yuta staying behind to help him. Once they do so, they manage to stop the Geostorm, bringing all the crazy wizard to a halt. As the station continues to crumble, Jake and Yuta find a nearby pod. The station is obliterated, leaving everyone thinking Jay is dead. Hannah watches at home with her mother and starts crying. Max is then alerted to a video from a nearby shuttle that the pod is signaling for help. The shuttle, flown by Hernandez, stopped to grab the pod, saving Jake and Yuta. They are brought back to Earth, with Max and Hannah both feeling relieved.
Is it a happy end? Okay, what do you think?
Yeah. And cry.
If this not happy end, what is happy end then, right? Everyone survived, every bad guy is punished, and the whole universe is saved. Looks good.
Only Afghanistan will actually.
Yeah, it's okay. It's $50, as we know. Okay. So, what do you think? Is it okay to build a self-destruct sequence without ability to cancel it?
Nonsense.
So, Sergey, why the station have self-destruct sequence? What's the reason for this?
I think it's a security protocol for don't sharing the station as a weapon for bad guys. I don't know.
Okay, I see. So if aliens came, right, or let's say Russians came and
Maybe.
try to kidnap the station, you can self-destruct it, right?
I think the real reason is if it should lose orbit control and start falling to the Earth,
Mhm.
we can blow it up into small pieces so that the small pieces will burn up in the atmosphere and no one on the land is in danger. If the whole thing were to come down in one piece, some of it would burn up, but some of it might land on a house or a city and kill thousands of people. So that's the real reason.
Mhm.
Uh,
I see what you're talking about, but once I read an article, we had some station, Russian station, Mir it's called, I guess, and we had to land it because it was old. So, and there was a discussion how to land it well, in one part or in many parts. And then decided to put in the ocean with one part. They said it was safer. So it's more controlled, like you can control one part better than many parts.
if you can control it, yeah.
Yeah. So probably,
But if you can't control it, it may come down over a city. So that's when you need to self-destruct. Correct. If you can control it, don't blow it up. Yeah.
Because it will be a lot of debris, right, in the space. Some of them can go to geostationary, how we call it, orbit, right?
Satellite.
I don't remember who owned it, but back when I was young, I remember there was a space station called Skylab.
Mhm.
I don't Chinese or American, I can't remember, but it was starting to fall out of orbit, and everyone's like, "Where's it going to land? Where's it going to land?" And luckily, I think it landed in the ocean, so we dodged a bullet there. And
But
China,
I understand this fear, right? So it's
Yeah.
if you are in a city, let's say Hong Kong, with many people on every square meter, and there is a big thing, so it's a danger.
now my understanding is in America we always plan for loss of orbit and we can guide it down, but it seems like the Chinese, when they build space stations, they don't have that. So whenever it runs out of fuel or starts falling, they can't control it, so they never know where it's going to fall.
Okay, so we have the last scene, romantic one, right? Leila, can we say that it was the last one?
Let me
was
say
romantic?
romantic. I know you were going to say Leila. Six
But was
months
it
later.
was it romantic or not, Leila? I need to know.
Okay. 6 months later, Jake gets his old job back working on a new Dutch boy system. He, Max, and Anna are shown trying to fish since they never did as kids. But they decide it's too boring. We then hear Anna's voiceover saying that while we cannot change the past, we can only hope to make the future better.
Yeah, we can only hope to make the future better. Sounds like a moral of the story, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what should we learn from this story? Gerard, tell us. The importance of climate change, anything else?
Technology can be hacked for
Yep.
bad people and do a disaster. It could be a disaster.
I think it's a good moral. Usually, what do you think? That technology now control a lot of things, but we don't control technology well, right? So allegedly, Facebook elected some presidents, right? And we don't know how it happened. So it can be dangerous.
Yeah, the fact that somebody was able to lock out everybody and nobody knew it, that scares me.
Yeah. Yeah. In general, I'm scared when some decision taken without a person who is in charge for this decision. So, some algorithm just decided that, I don't know, this city is going to be burned or something like this. So
And there ought to be fail safes where your satellites can't create a situation on the surface of Earth where there's living creatures and it's hostile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There ought to be a directive where it can't harm human beings, if you will.
Yeah. Isaac Asimov laws, right? Robotic laws.
Exactly.
Vasant, please.
Yes, I want to share a personal experience. A decade ago, usually Indian government gives subsidy to the gas cylinder purchase for the cooking purpose in every home. So it used to be like that. When we buy a cylinder, the bill the provider will reduce the subsidy amount from the actual amount. Then we have to pay the remaining amount only. It used to be like that. But later, Indian government said that everybody should open a bank account. Then they said you have to pay the complete full amount to the provider. Then later, the government will deposit the subsidy amount in your bank account. They said like that.
Compensate this money.
They are compensate, but it happened 5 years or something, then it stopped. Nobody can raise a question like, how can you track your bank account that you are getting subsidy every time? You know? That like people forgot that. So this kind of disadvantages we have when we have the technological implementation. So the government can benefit anytime. Yeah, they can say that like just like that they can make your bank account zero balance, and then you can do nothing. You know.
That's a secret of trial subscriptions. You're familiar with trial subscriptions, right? Try it free for 30 days, but give us your credit card right now. You can cancel in 30 days, but what they count on is in 30 days, you forget and you don't cancel. So they start taking money from your account every month and you don't realize it until eventually you say, dang, I've been paying for this for a year. I forgot to cancel it. I hate free subscriptions.
We have a lot of them, but we have like real evil in Russia when they give you trial subscription without even noticing you. You know, we gave this for free for you. You know, so be happy. Just this. But then in 90 days, you started to pay. You pay for 1 year, and then you ask what's the hell happening. And then it was you know, the situation. They say so. It's okay.
We mistakenly charged you. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Leila, anything about the moral of the story? What should we learn from the story?
Oh, nothing to add, my dear friend, you know.
Okay, technology evil, right? Be
could be. If we can use the better parts of it, why not? If not, then it's evil.
I'll mention one more. Okay, go ahead. I'll mention one more term. We have a term called doomsday machine.
Mm-hmm.
This is similar to the Cold War between the the USSR and the USA. We invented nuclear bombs to stop World War II. Russia, the USSR saw that and said, oh my God, they got nuclear bombs and we don't. So they started building nuclear bombs. So they built some, we built some, they built some. Pretty soon we both got so many nuclear bombs that if either one shoots and the other shoots back, the whole world's destroyed. That's kind of like a doomsday machine. We created a weapon that could basically kill all life on Earth. And all it takes is one person to make a mistake to initiate that, and we're all dead. So this Geostorm satellite system is another potential doomsday machine.
Yeah.
Wow.
And to add some fear to this discussion, you know, Tishli shared this one. There was an accident when the machine was wrong, and Soviet machine said that Americans attacking us. And there was an officer. There was an officer who decided not to answer to this attack. So he was like a man who took the decision not to answer. Yes.
Are you talking about the missile crisis or another situation?
It was not Cuba crisis. It was another thing.
Okay, different one. I didn't know about that one, Ivan.
You shared this. You just forgot it. You shared this in the chat, so I will find it.
I did. Okay, I remember the missile crisis where one guy stopped nuclear war. You know, I remember that one, but I don't remember the other one. Okay.
So technology is unreliable, right? So, and they control us for sure. So look at your phone. Look at your phone. They control us already. Okay, what can I see? I can see a thunderstorm with many bolts, with dark and let's say pensive clouds. So yeah, nice one. Let's start from this slide. Sarah, could you please describe
Yes.
what can you see? Yeah.
This is the beginning of the movie when Jake arguing with I don't know what we call that man, but they were in argument because he didn't take the consent from them when he proceeded in the Dutch boy.
Yes, there are many people, photographers, reporters, right, on the right, senator in the center. What is interesting for me is that in our tribunals and I don't know, interrogations, like meetings like this, the man in center would be staying, not sitting. So don't know why, just to pay respect. Never sit when you answer to I don't know, to committee, to judge, to anyone.
We always sit and have a glass of water.
More relaxed.
Lawyer next to us. Don't say that. Don't say that.
I reject, right? I reject. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are many people, I guess. What is the green thing in the center? It's a camera, I guess.
Yes, it's camera, it seems to me. Or light, flashing light.
I don't know.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Leila, why it's so free? Looks freezing, right?
It could be the instant in Afghanistan, right? People were frozen and they were dead. And I can see the old village, old, as I said, because it looks old. And people are like statues. And everything was frozen.
Everything, yeah. Even donkey, right?
Yeah. I don't know if it was a well or not on the left. There is
Looks
a kind of
looks like a well. Yeah.
right. What do you call the long staff upwards the sky in
Leila,
front of the well?
in front of the well, this one,
That
Right.
post,
the
that's
post.
that has a little crank for lowering a bucket down into the well.
Okay. All
And the
right.
bucket fills it with water and then you pull the bucket back up. So it's not a pump. You have to lower a bucket down on a rope, scoop it full
Right.
of water and pull the bucket back up. So that's like a hand crank.
Right. Thank you, Teacher Lee.
Yeah.
So I can see the soldiers, and as far as I remember, the soldiers were shocked to see the people like that. And one of them touched the hand or something like that. The hand was broken into pieces and fell down.
Yeah. Leila, have you noticed some soldiers wear strange hats? One on the left, it looks like not a helmet, but what? A turban?
Yeah. How could you see that?
An Indian guy, right?
I have never, just paid attention to these things.
Okay, another question. What do you think? How many trees in the Afghanistan? How many
Tribes, you mean?
forests, jungle.
Forests.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
can see
sure.
this, I can see this fence made of sticks, right?
Right.
My impression is
Got
that in Afghanistan they built everything from clay, because there are no forests at all.
The one on the left, it looks like a fence.
Yeah, it's a fence built of sticks.
Right.
Yeah. So Americans were in Afghanistan for 20 years and have not noticed there is no trees.
Ivan.
Guy must have found one tree branch during a storm and he said, I can cut this up and make a fence. Oh, geez. We have a term icicle. Icicle.
Yeah, we can see that on the post, right?
When water drips down and freezes, it makes kind of what looks like a knife, an ice knife. So in the movies, a lot of times someone will break off an icicle and stab someone in the eye with it.
Yeah.
We call those
Wow.
icicles.
I didn't know that, Teacher Lee. Thank you.
But it's pretty rigid, right? Usually, or rigid.
Rigid. Yeah,
It's
rigid.
pretty rigid, but it's fragile, right? So you can like stab someone, but you cannot. If you move it, it will be broken.
Yeah.
Okay, what else here? So I still found unrealistic that you can freeze people like this, or donkey, or something. How we call this thing on the right? Barrel wheel, or how we call it? The thing to
Wheelbarrow?
wheelbarrow, right? On the right, there is a staying man, freezing man, and under his leg, we can see.
Oh yeah,
Wheelbarrow.
wheelbarrow. Yeah, wheelbarrow.
Wheelbarrow, right.
Wheelbarrow. Yeah.
So they definitely moving something in Afghanistan. We can see donkey and wheelbarrow. So they moving something in the desert, back and forth. Okay, let's go to the next one. Vasans, would you like, please, describe this one? I guess Vasans could be disconnected. Hello? Vasans?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, please.
And this is where Makmoud is distracting the fellow crew member to go somewhere so that he can copy the data from that satellite. So you can see so many things.
Vasans, is it an Indian flag there on his
Yes.
shoulder?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
India. Okay.
Why people wear flags on this uniform?
I think it's a combined effort. So each country contributed. They're just showing their patriotism.
Okay, so what else? What else? Some kind of air conditioning looks like on the top. So design is pretty cool, I would say. But I still can see some duct tape used to hold all these microchips.
Okay, so on the left, there's like a maintenance panel. They've opened it up, and inside's just a bunch of wires and stuff. There's a hatch, an airtight hatch open behind the Indian guy. And the wall seems to have a triangular structure, maybe for strength.
Could be. But the station was huge, right? In the movie, it was really huge. So possible to believe that we can build something as huge.
Yeah.
Okay, Gerard, what about this one? And tell us about this flag. Is it French or what?
Yeah, it's a French flag. Is this the Makmoud? Makmoud is walking.
Yep.
We can see on the bottom a guy with only a towel, cleaning, washing, cleaning himself. Like
looks like dressing rooms or something.
Yeah,
changing rooms.
Lockers, backpacks. One more, clothes, uniforms.
This looks a very spacey place, right? It's a big one, so not what you usually see from the space from our stations.
Yeah,
huge one, and they have gravitation, so it's pretty convenient.
yeah.
Why they need lockers here? I don't know. Maybe it's their personal place on the station.
If you change clothes, it may be, let's say, for example, you put on, you wear your normal clothes to work, and then you put on your work clothes. You open your locker up, put your normal clothes in there, you billfold your car keys. There's no car keys in space, but you lock your personal items up and change clothes. So it's just a place to keep your personal items secure.
Yeah, in my opinion, everything in space must be attached to something. You cannot put something like this. Like, what if something happened with gravitation? It all will fly and stuck it, hit each other.
Yeah. For example, in a nuclear plant, if we go to an area that has rotating machinery like motors and motor shafts and turbines, we're not supposed to wear any jewelry that hangs from our neck, no rings on our finger that might get caught in machinery. So we have to remove all of our jewelry and lock it up somewhere before we go into certain areas. So lockers are good for that kind of stuff.
I see. Understandable, yeah. Okay, the moment when how we call it, assignation of Makmoud, right? So he was killed here.
Assassination, yeah.
Assassination, yeah. Okay, let's skip this one. about this one? Jihan, would you like to describe this one?
Okay. Here's Max when he came to his brother Jack to convince him to work on the satellite or on the station.
Mhm.
And I can see his daughter, and he's like living away. I think it's close to a factory related to the satellites.
Can you see the antenna or what satellites?
So, it's something related to the solar system. I don't know. Sorry, solar panels.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, we can see
Um,
for solar panels, some kind of antennas, right? To use for radio signals, probably, because it
Yes.
doesn't look like satellite system. It looks like a
Maybe. Mhm.
radio antenna. Mhm.
Maybe because he's living away close to the sea. So maybe there is no electricity. So he's using these panels instead.
Yeah. Can you see this device on the right behind his brother, right? So what is this? What do you think? So some kind of jars, metal jars, and some kind of stand. Looks like something with gas, if you ask me, but I'm not sure. Could be a kitchen, removable kitchen, something.
Man-made refrigerator. I don't know.
Ivan,
big.
maybe he's making prickles.
Making what?
Prickles.
What is this?
Or moonshine.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they are living in a, how we call it, in a house.
Isolated place, kind of.
Look at the door, Yvonne. It almost looks like that's part of an airplane body,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he built like a wooden house over the top of it.
Yeah.
Looks
And we
like
can
it's
see-
man-made.
Yeah,
We can
could
see
it
the
be
van.
caravan?
Caravan, right? We can see the right on the right. We can see the car, right? The movable part of this. So they live in, how we call this, on the wheels.
I guess, yeah. It's a strange building. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah. And as always, we can see the difference between brothers. Like one is in the formal suit, another one is a, let's say, informal one. What he has in his hands? What do you think? What is this?
I don't
Hard to say.
remember.
Hard to say. It's something strange.
Maybe he was working in something, and this is a tool.
Yeah, but I like palms. I write probably. I think there is a ocean on the right because of we can see nothing. Must be ocean.
Yeah, he
Seems
was
like it.
working in his car. I remember.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the Hong Kong. Sarah, could you?
So this has happened on Hong Kong. When all of a sudden, just the street split up and the fire came out. And this man, Cheng, I think it's called, when he dropped by accident the egg, it started frying. So he got in his car and drive it quickly so to avoid this calamity.
Mm-hmm. I can see McDonald's here. It attracts my attention. Can you see the sign of McDonald's on under the stair?
Are you hungry?
No, I just don't think that
McDonald's.
they use McDonald's much.
Well, it looks like there's one on the side. There's a McDonald's back there, the M, the Golden Arches.
Okay, what else? So parking lot, right? Looks pretty messy, but it's how it's supposed to look. Many things, many.
What do we call this catastrophe? Like,
Blast.
what do we call it?
We would just call it ground explosions
So like volcano, just I don't know.
or gas main explosions.
Yeah.
Main here means main pipe. So the main pipe, we just call it the main. So the gas main is exploding.
Mhm. So am I understanding correctly that main pipe, it has high pressure, right? A lot of gas inside, and then it has like small pipes to deliver gas to houses.
Yeah,
Something.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's go fuse. Leila, what is happening here? Why so many rockets? I have never seen so many in one time.
I'm trying to remember where the scene
Well,
is.
yeah. If one person wants to go to the space station, he gets his own space shuttle, millions of dollars to take one person up to the space station. This is crazy.
Yeah, a lot of
Golly.
rockets, a lot of space shuttles, and the bus is taking, could be the bus is taking Jack to the main place. I don't remember this scene, Ivan.
Maybe not only Jack, maybe they work there for a week and return to the Earth for weekend. For instance.
Oh, come on, don't tease me.
I don't know. Too many rockets.
I don't remember.
Yes,
I guess that
you're right,
space-
Leila. You're right.
Do you
When the-
remember, Sarah?
Yes, I do. I remember when Jack, yes, to send
the bus
Jack
is-
back. Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Hmm.
You see the ladies' solidarity.
okay. But I guess that in real life there are no such space stations like this. So many I have never seen. Probably
We
in
have-
Russia. Yeah.
We have one space shuttle in exist. Well, maybe we had 3 space shuttles in existence at one time. That was the most we ever had.
I don't know how many we have, but we have one launch spot, so we can launch one in a week, I guess, or in 2 days or something. So it's not like-
Ivan, you are jealous, right? Because
Yes,
this
of
looks
course.
impressive.
it's impressive. Yeah.
Expensive.
And it's multiple rows. It's not just one row, it's multiple rows.
Yeah,
It's
we
like,
can.
my
can,
God, it's
Billions and billions of dollars.
yeah, just sitting there waiting for a passenger.
yeah, good one.
Not realistic. Yeah.
Okay, let's skip a few. Let's find something. Okay, this one. Basans, what is happening here?
This is where Jake and are trying to get the panel out of the fence. It's stuck in the edge. So he's taking it back to the station so that he
Mhm.
can examine the data.
So that was the scene when his suitcase started to malfunction, right? Malfunction.
Yeah.
Okay. And teacher Lee asked a good question. So how they control this exact moment of malfunction? Right. So it's a remote control to how they did it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. If they can control the flow of oxygen inside the sewer or something like that, it is plausible. But making a leak in the edge, I don't know how is that possible.
And I doubt that they have like a personal suit for everyone, right? So probably there are like 10 suits for the whole crew, right? And they change them. So it's impossible to predict which suit case will be used.
Good point. Yeah.
Okay, but what else? So a lot of, I don't know how we call it. So hang bar, can you say so? Actually, he's holding by hang bar.
Handbars. Yep.
Mhm. On the back of his suitcase, it looks like a place to, I don't know, to attach some cargo. To me, if you ask me,
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
to put your tools here, a hammer, an axe. What do you need?
You can't get to it. It's behind you. You can't get it.
Yes, strange thing.
I
Anything
don't
else?
know what that
Basant?
is.
No.
Oh, okay, let's go forward.
In space, you'll hear when you're reading about space or listening to the news, you'll hear EVA.
Mhm,
EVA is extra vehicular activity. That
mhm.
means you've got to go outside your space station or your space capsule into space. So EVA means you got to put on a spacesuit and go outside. Something else that was a little hokey about some of these scenes was when he was outside, you know, and he was going out of control.
Yeah.
And it shows him like hanging on with one hand, like he's falling by gravity. No. If you're weightless, you don't need to hold on. There's nothing pulling you away, you know. That was a little fake, I thought. And then when he's in space and the explosions are happening, all these little shrapnels going out at tremendous speeds, and none of them hit his suit or hit his face mask. So he's just hanging there with all these debris missing him. Come on, you know, not realistic.
Leila, do you remember this scene, this episode?
Yeah.
So the guy brought another girl to his flat, right?
Right.
What,
Why you always just teasing me, asking me these kind of things, right? Okay, so the lady on the left is Max's girlfriend, a special agent, right? Secret agent. And this must be Diana, and the girl who's helping Max. When she came to the flat, she was surprised to see her in her flat because she didn't see Max first. And Diana was really scared because she was almost, you know, she was about to shoot maybe.
Yeah, I don't think that it's a good when your wife, you know, always walks with a gun. So it will be dangerous for me. I would not like this.
There's something, go back, Ivan. There's something Chinese in this picture. Can you find it?
Candle, probably. No. I can see this Chinese food, right? It's
Takeout carton.
in the box. Right?
Yeah.
Gerard, what about this one?
Is this Tokyo?
I guess so.
So hail, a storm.
Yeah.
Very big rocks of ice. Mortal.
Yeah. And people use umbrella to protect themselves, right?
But it's useless. Umbrella are useless in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see some debris from a, how we call it? So it's not a debris, right? From a building. So just it was hit by this ice, and we can see this, right? Some kind of, I don't know, ruins from the building, I guess, from facade. Okay, what happens here, Gerard? It's another calamity.
This is Rio de Janeiro. So it's freezing. The weather is freezing. It's like liquid nitrogen, you know, like in Terminator 2. That's something similar, because as Teacher Lee said, people don't get frozen so quickly.
Yeah, we can see that this guy, he's actually running, right, from this freeze wave, but it doesn't help. Yeah,
it's impossible to get this amount of cold. I don't know. How many degrees would you need to get that effect?
I don't know. But do you know how, in theory, how much cold we can get, you know, in theory? So minus 100, minus 50, how much?
Minus 273
degrees
Celsius. Yes.
The
absolute zero. Absolute zero.
I've read that outer space itself is very cold, right? Minus 270 degrees C or whatever. But it's vacuum. It has no air. Now, normally we get cold by air moving by our skin, carrying the heat away. In space, there's nothing there to take the heat out of your body. So your heat stays in your body. So I'm not sure that you suddenly, you know, ice over and turn cold like they say. I'm not sure. Some of the space movies may be fake, and how that really works, I'm not sure.
I will try to find a good video about this. But you know, when you have your, I don't know, coffee hot, right? You can see the steam, right? Yeah. Because the difference of the temperature. So that happens with our body in the space. So we kind of losing kind of perspiration, kind of molecules that's very active.
By radiation, yes.
Mhm.
but normally it's by conduction.
Yeah.
It goes
yeah.
to the air. The heat goes to the air, and the air molecules carry the heat away. But in space, there's no air to take the heat away. So
Right,
there's no conduction heat loss, but there's black box radiation heat loss. I agree. But
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
usually a small rate, I think. I don't know.
We have to research this more, right? I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, actually don't remember this one. Gerard, just to finish with all the calamities, what about this one?
Tornadoes in Mumbai,
Mumbai.
India. So you can see a very populated city. You know, we know Mumbai. It's millions of people live there,
Mhm.
and that effect could kill many people. So in the before the good guys have stopped Geostorm, but many big cities have been obliterated by these satellites.
So is it a real picture of Mumbai? Can we trust this? More or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah, but not this was based on road. You know, the road is more narrow than this one.
I see. I don't remember what's this one. Jihad, do you remember what is happening?
No. Yeah, here when they asked all the crew to leave the station, so they were
Nice.
running to get back to Earth.
So how we call it?
Evacuation, yes.
Abandoned station. Teacher, station was abandoned, right? Or something like
Yeah, abandon. Usually we say evacuate the station.
that? Evacuate the station. Okay.
Abandon ship, evacuate the station. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Always difference. Why you invent this, teacher?
I don't know.
Okay. So I don't know what I like. So can you look on design of these chairs? They have some kind of, how we call it, amortizator or something. So it's against the gravity, right? Against this to mild the effect probably of 5G or something. What you have when you launch the rocket.
Yeah, you need seat belts.
Seat belts and
withstand.
kind of, I don't know how we call it. Can you see this metal thing on the right and left? So it looks like it can
hold it,
compensate. No?
I don't know. I don't see any seat belts. I don't see any shoulder straps. What holds you in the seat? I don't know.
Yeah, they on the top. They are like in the children's seats, you know. They called 3 points belts. So
Yeah.
to your shoulders and between your legs, I guess.
But I don't see any seat belts here. So what holds you in place? I don't know.
Gravity.
I noticed it looks like on the wall there's some yellow orange things that looks like there's one per seat. Is that some kind of life vest if you crash into the ocean?
Could be.
I don't know. And something red on the ceiling looked like fire tanks. You know, I don't know. Fire extinguishers. It's a strange design.
On the top, we can see some barrels. Looks like fire extinguisher. Yeah, strange one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this. Let's choose the last one, which we like the most. Okay. So the bad guy is. What's the word for this? Arrested or something. Sarah, would you like, please, to describe this one?
Yes, this is the moment when they arrest the secretary of the president because he betrayed the president. So that's why. And he also, what he did, he's the one behind all what happened. So it wasn't the accident. The malfunction was an accident. So, yes.
What is interesting in this picture, can you see that all the people more or less are relaxed, right? They are just staying and talking, but one guy on the left, he's pointing someone with a gun.
Where is it? Yes, you're right.
You can see some
the
danger.
car is on fire. Yes, and the car was on fire. So I'm just wondering, how did the president and Max get out of the car? Because I think they shoot the car. How did they survive?
This yellow car is the one they used, right? Yellow
yes.
Car. Yeah. So how they survived? Let's ask
I
Gerard.
don't
Gerard,
know.
how this
Was
survive?
a self-driving car?
Maybe they changed the car or something.
They abandoned the car, and the car was self-driving alone, and nobody was inside.
Okay. Very convenient. Now we know why to have self-driving cars.
Yeah. To put the plot together.
Exactly. Okay, thank you very much. I guess the movie was good, Leila. Don't hesitate to suggest more movies. It was about space, as we
No,
like.
good news is I'm not going to.
You are too shy. You are too shy. You know. So I suggested some movies that they was just terrible. You know, I cannot just finish them. So it happened.
Yeah.
So we can never predict. Okay, thank you much. I guess we can call it a day and see you next Sunday. And I will try to
Thank
share.
you. Thank you, Teacher Lee. Thank you, dear friends. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.